ever wanted to say something to someone and have them say something back? Welcome to Candid Conversations. Let's chat. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to 218. That is the number of the episode that we are on right now, and we are live with Elaina Yvonne. How are you doing today, Empress? You're muted right now.
I'm doing well. How are you?
Empress? Okay, that's wonderful. Now you're muted right now.
Okay, can you hear me now? How are you?
Empress? I can hear you, but I can also hear myself, so I'm thinking there's a playback on somewhere.
Okay, can you hear me now? How are you?
Let me see. I can hear you, but I can also hear myself, so I'm thinking there's a playback on.
There we go. Okay, got it.
That's like looking into two mirrors. That was so surreal for me. Thanks.
Yes, I heard it. I was like, what the heck is going on? Okay, now I gotta find you again. There you are.
All right. Yes. Oh, man, we are here for episode 218. Now, if you were here last week, you saw 215. But when I went over my stats and everything, I realized I have doubled 2 of my episodes, so I had to jump ahead by 3. It's one of those random things. But we are here with, now I want to make sure I'm saying it right, Elaina Yvonne.
Yes, sir. Good job.
Okay. All right. Thank you. And I'm looking at this picture of Soul Partner, the video for Soul Partner. I see the cozy tape now. Okay. I see it. All right. Now, before we get into the video, who did this graphic for you?
I did.
Say word.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, like I put talented songstress, but I didn't know, like, I would have put like creative if I had known that it went into graphic design like this. This is such an awesome picture, and it speaks volumes. Not just because there's a lot of knobs and faders on there, because one of them would be volumes, but it has such a soulful look to it. Like, you're at peace with what you're doing, and you're ready to do whatever you put your mind to. It's an awesome graphic.
Thank you. That's exactly what I was going for. And it was, to me, that's what gave the cozy vibe. Was, I'm here cozy doing my thing, and here you go.
Yeah, it's like you're on stage at one of those smaller lounges kind of thing, just an intermittent interactive thing. Like, you could play a big arena, but you just want to be able to talk to a couple people when you're done and get their feeling of how you affected them, kind of thing. I like it.
Right.
Now, let's talk about the song behind it for a second now. Soul Partner. And you did to Partner what I did to Culture. You see, you kind of put that vibe to it, where you know you can spell it a different way.
Right.
And you did. So what was the meaning? What is the meaning you put into this, and what inspired the song?
Yeah, I mean, Soul Partner was one of those ones that really honestly just came to me. I saw this guy at the grocery store. He was handsome. I went home. I thought about that pretty much the rest of the day. I was washing dishes, and the melody just came to me. And then, it took me a little while. Like, I recorded it on a voice note. I kind of had it in the back of my mind type of thing. And I worked on other things. And it took me like a year or so to actually get it to what it sounds like now. And there's about 3 versions of the song. But the inspiration behind the song, it's, pretty much just my raw feelings. Like, I need a soul partner. I need somebody who understands exactly who the hell I am. So, yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah, that makes sense. All right. We are going to bring this up because I want people to see this right here. I want them to catch the vibe that you're putting out with this. And that is the timer on the cinnamon buns. If you're wondering why we are a little late starting, I'm cooking some comfort food for the house.
No worries.
All right, so we're here. Look at that graphic I was just talking about. Like, she just looks at peace. There's such serenity that is portrayed with this picture. So we're gonna go now and play the song Soul Partner.
I need a soul partner.
I need somebody who understands exactly who the hell I am. I need a soul partner. I need a soul rocker. Hey, 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 I need a soul partner. I need a soul doctor who knows I ain't always whole. I need a soul partner. I need a soul partner. Look, I'm talking 6'2" IQ, type to write them haikus, type to be authentic and might little right, type to strip me bare with my clothes still on my skin, type to let me in, teach me everything I've been missing, type to recognize my energy, really feeling me, like he knew me from a past life, really digging me, a real long ball vibe, I'm talking real soul ascension. Baby, am I catching your attention? Sweet thing, sweet thing, sweet thing, sweetie, 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 sweetie. I need a soul partner. I need somebody who understands exactly who the hell I am. I need a soul partner. I need a soul rocker. Hey, 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 I need a soul partner. I need a soul doctor who knows I ain't always whole. I need a soul partner. I need a soul partner. Look, I need soul power. I need a soul power. Soul power. I need soul power. Soul
Okay. All right. Now I was vibing with that, and then it's funny. I always tell the art whenever I play a video online. I always tell the artist the song that comes up next because of the algorithm, so they know what the vibe they have given off to the computer says. And the song that came up after this was DJ Khaled and Taskman featuring Skillibang, Buja Banton, Cableton, Bounty Killer, and Sizzler. That's like the soul of Jamaica right there. So I'm sitting here and I'm
Very
listening to this
nice.
song.
So it's giving the vibes. Okay, cool. I'll take
Yeah,
it.
yeah. So just so you know where they think you should be playing with, you know what I mean? That's just an idea. So I mean, hey, I like the song. I was vibing with it. I like the melodic range that you utilize
Thank you.
while portraying such a strong message because there's a way to be sensual without
Mhm.
being crass,
Right,
right?
right.
And that was definitely achieved in this song. And I think it's very tasteful. It's tasteful. It's mature. It's grown and sexy. You know what I mean? It's what we need more of, really,
Right.
because like you're talking like you have people talking nonsense and sauce over here. You got people that are just saying words over there. And it's like,
Yeah.
what am I learning from you?
Right, right. What story does
But
your music tell?
like, are you telling a story? And is it one that needs to be told? And this one, like, down to the description. I like the way you brought it low and then you went, I'm not even gonna try and hit that note. But you brought like that you went up like I want to say like past the second C
Hmm.
and hit that soul. I was just like, okay, all right, you do that,
Hmm.
girl. So you know what I mean? Like more power to you. We are on Candid Conversations. It's episode 218. We are here with Elaina Yvonne, and we gonna have to pay some bills. We got a commercial break coming up. This is part of the Village Global Network. We are North. We are Candid Conversations, and it is Exposed to North. There's a whole lot of tags that I'm gonna drop when we get back.
Okay.
All right. So now the fun part. At Candid Conversations, we are brought to you in part by Expose the North. We go there and beyond. Culture Shock, we are the product. Culture Shock Radio, we are in the mix. Come get your fix. Culture Shock Magazine, the zine for those unseen in the scene, as well as the Village Global Network. We make the network, reaching over 193 countries worldwide. Yeah, yeah, that's where we're at right now. The part of that village is the reason why we are here today. NJ's Hip Hop Connects. She got us together for this conversation, and I wanted to make sure that I took this month to highlight some of our history and some of our future.
Mhm.
Um, there's a lot going on in these times, and we have to assert ourselves in a way that will get the recognition we require for our aspirations.
Right.
Right. So I want to like I want to do my part and make sure I'm highlighting the people that are out there doing good and that are projecting a positive message for those to learn from. Um, and I told her that before she sent you in my direction. So, um, if there was one thing that you believed you have influenced, and I'm sure it's a lot, what would you say it was?
The one thing that I have influenced, what do you mean by like for other people?
Yes, like if you were to look at the impact you've had on your community, what is one thing you believe you have influenced for their betterment?
Hmm. I definitely feel like since I've been doing music, a lot of people have been telling me that my music touches them. And I feel like I've influenced people to, really tap into their emotions. Because if you listen to the body of work of Cozy Tape in itself, it's kind of heavy. Some of the things that I talk about are a little deep. So people that listen to my music, I feel like they are influenced and inspired to tap into that deepness and not be so shallow in some ways. So that's what I say.
Okay, all right. Well, I'd like to visit that cozy tape on another episode of the Terrell Effect, where we could feature the whole thing
Very
and
nice.
excuse me, and highlight some of. As a matter of fact, in the month of March, if you have a Saturday,
Okay.
sending my invitation to you now so we can go through the whole cozy tape and
Let's do it.
for people to hear and get more in depth with your perspective on the tape, because I know when I make music I make it for myself, but at the
Mhm.
same time I make it for those who want to listen,
Right.
right?
Right.
And
Exactly. And I do the same thing.
and in doing so you get different responses. It's like I could make a song and I'm like, yeah, I don't really like. Okay, perfect example actually. And I'll ask you about your song, like one of your songs. I have this one song that I tried to bury because I was in that sensitive state of mind. I was feeling emotional. I'm like, yeah, yo, all these other dudes are singing R&B. Let me try. I should not sing R&B. I have the depth of voice for it. I just don't have the tonality. Okay,
Right. 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 Okay.
I know what my faults are, and I play with it. I play within my limits.
Right.
So I have this one song, and it's called "She's Gone," right?
Okay.
And I played it for my friends and my fiance. And oh my gosh, every time someone leaves, I hear "She's gone,"
Oh.
and I'm like, they leave the house, they leave the room, they leave the house, someone leaves the store, and it's like it just comes out every time, and I'm just like, okay, if this is what happens with the songs I try to bury, I need to be more careful with the songs I play for people.
Not they made you into a meme. That's terrible.
They have.
That is
I'm a
terrible.
walk. I'm a walking meme right now. She just came into the room and said the whoa whoa part that finishes the
Oh.
chorus. I'm telling you, it's so. Do you have any songs that have, for lack of better term, come back to haunt you?
No, and that's only because I do not release those songs. I have some that probably could have if I would
Okay.
release them, but they are hidden away in the archives. So, yeah.
Yeah, I'm chilling in the basement once. I made that mistake. I'm telling you. So yeah, no, but it's a humbling experience to know that even something so simple could come back like that.
Right.
It's interesting. All right. One of those other questions that I have for you. Knowing that you have a proficiency in a particular craft,
Mhm.
is there something that you use to? No, let me rephrase that. I was going to say, how do you humble yourself, knowing that you can sing as well as you sing or create as well as you create? Like, what do you use to stay humble?
I mean, I've always been fairly humble, and I like to say that it comes from the fact that I was born on Christmas Day. So I kind of was humbled from the day I was born, to be honest, because everyone was like, "Oh, it's Christmas." Nobody ever cared about my birthday. So it was just like I was always the kid that kind of had to coddle myself, if that makes sense. So
Yep, yep.
I've always had like a humble spirit. I don't ever believe that, I can't learn from someone. I always feel like, no matter what position someone's in, I can always learn something from that person. I'm also a God-fearing person. So with that, that's one thing that definitely keeps me very humble, because I do believe in God and I'm very grateful for the things that he has given me and the talents that he's given me. And I know that without him, I'm literally nothing. So that's one of the major things that keeps me humble.
Okay, all right. I like to hear that. That's good. I'm no judge. I own no neither gown nor gavel, but like when you have common ground with people, it's a lot easier to build and develop.
Right.
We are here on episode 218. This is the show that I do. The Terrell Effect is like the flagship show. We
Hmm.
started 9 years ago,
Okay.
and we've done it every Saturday for 9 years, except for three. So I think
Okay.
the longest running weekly episodic podcast in Agari's history. Once I start saying that, people start trying to make other podcasts that don't last as long. Gotta check my ego. Gotta check my ego. Yeah, in those situations, someone is trying to make you feel and like what I mean, like you're insignificant.
Right.
How do you lift yourself?
Well, I'd like to think I'm a little different because I don't really let the things that people say bother me because I understand I do a lot of people watching and I understand
Okay.
patterns and I watch people's patterns. So if I get to a point where I recognize that this is a pattern for you, you just are someone who likes to be miserable or who likes to, call out the negatives, then I'm not even gonna let it affect me because it's like it's not me, it's you. That's a you problem that you have to deal with. So that's just how I
Oh,
think about it.
see, that's why I like having these conversations because I'll admit I am in the adolescence of my adulthood. I'm just getting to that point where I'm expected to be mature and responsible. So I'm
Right.
trying to take pointers from other people who seem to have it down already. So what I mean. Thank you for that. I'm gonna
Now, don't
put
get me
that in.
wrong. Every day is not perfect. Now, I'm not.
Okay.
I'm not sitting here saying, there's a halo up here. Sometimes the horns come out, but
Even daylight comes with dark, so I
right.
get that as well. So we're here at episode 218, Candid Conversations. We're here with Elaina Yvonne. Played the song Soul Partner. Check out the cozy tape. We will be right back. All right. So I get it. It's not every day is sunshine, we'll say.
Right.
But you gotta smile through the rain.
Right.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah. That's how it is. Oh man, okay, so we're here now in the cozy tape. Now, how many songs are on the cozy tape?
There are 6 songs on a cozy tape.
Right, right. I was not. I don't have it with me. I only got the song "Soul Partner." I'm sure that's the one we're playing.
Yeah.
Going back to that. The vibe is there, and I mean, like I try not to compare people to people. Like I like to look at the uniqueness of each individual,
Hmm.
but like when I make a comparison, it's because if I were to make that comparison, it would be to that person. If you understand
Right.
all that
Right.
blathering stuff. So like I got a real Erica Badu vibe from that song.
Hmm.
There was just something like a little bit of Erica, a little bit of Lauren was in there, and I'm just like, hold on a second, how do you combine these two vibes? Because like the rap, the cadence. It was
Right.
the cadence that kind of got me. You know what I mean? And
Mhm.
just the way like the beat dropped and came back in. And the picture that you drew makes me have to ask this question: do you also do your own productions, like your
I
production
do.
work?
I do. I make
Ah,
my own beats. I do have an engineer that I send it out to that he was the one that put the little drop in there, like type that, his name is Hefe. He's out in California.
okay.
But I also have another engineer in Charlotte that I work with. His name is Breeze. And but yeah, I make all my own beats. And then I send them out to the engineer. He does his thing and bada bing, bada boom,
Yeah,
we have magic.
we definitely have to bring you back for the Terrell effect. 45 minutes is not enough for talent of this caliber. No, there's a lot of people out there who just sing, and that's good. Don't get me wrong, but it is few and far between that you find someone who covers all the bases of media production. It's like you like hip hop in the sense of you
Mhm.
cover the
Right.
main elements of that genre.
Right.
So I want to give you your roses because they definitely do. They definitely do. So
Thank you.
um, problem, no problem. She makes her own beats, right? You write your own lyrics,
I do.
you
I
record
do.
yourself, and then you send it out.
So there's one song on there that I recorded myself, which is "Let You Know." But Soul
Okay,
Partner was one of those ones like I went to the studio, they like did their thing in the studio with everything.
okay,
So
okay.
yeah.
Yeah, no, I like, and the thing is that image is ingrained. Like that picture of you playing the piano or the synthesizer with all of those different
Hmm.
things, like that should be an NFT or something. That should
Hmm.
be like you should put that on t-shirts or something. That should be sold at your next show for what
Yeah,
it's
I
worth.
mean,
That
thank you for that idea. Honestly, I because that's what I was going for. Like when I made that tape, because for people who have never heard a cozy tape or never heard of Elaina Yvonne, I just wanted them to see that and know, like what you said. I make my own beats, so that was the point of me using that image so that people could see that,
yeah, that
and that
that
I'm
I
actually
mean,
curating the vibe for them.
there you go. There you go. Yeah, I'm telling you, I've dozens, if not hundreds of people at this point. I mean, like not every episode has had a guest on there, but still, even if you look at 80% of the shows I've talked, there's few and far between where the full range is covered. So like you have a niche that you're like, I mean, in the business world, you're like Missy, you do it all. You know what I mean? That's
I claim that energy, claiming that.
yeah. There you go. There you go. I'll put that out there for you because it's a positive energy. I don't see why it's so hard to just compliment someone when they're doing well. It's just it comes naturally to me. It's like, oh shoot, I saw someone walking the other day. I'm like, hey, look at you, your shirt, your coat matching your shoes and shit. Bam.
Yeah, I'm that person
And
too. Like I'll go to the store, like, oh, your shirt is so cute. Like I'm that person.
yeah, like I'll walk backwards to read someone's shirt because like there's a message in that for me, and I want
Mhm.
to know what it is, and
Right,
then you can go on your way because you t-shirt with words to be disregarded. You know you wanted someone to look at you for a couple of seconds.
right,
I met someone. Let's have this conversation.
right.
You know? Man. Okay, so question. What would you say your genre is? Because I know I haven't really I, the way I heard your song, I know you have a dynamic range. What would you say is your genre of music?
If I had to pick one, I would
Yeah,
say neo soul would
neo
be my
soul.
genre. Yeah.
Okay, okay. Yeah, yeah. I get that. I get it. Now that being said, what is a genre of music you're not known but you'd like to try?
So this is going to sound it might sound a little crazy to some, but I grew up with a love for rock and metal music. Um,
Okay.
so that is something that I have actually dibbled and dabbled in. And so I am considering it. I'm considering just kind of, I don't know if I'm going to do it anonymously and just kind of see what happens, like on a Daft Punk type of thing, like with a something over my face or something.
Okay,
But
okay.
yeah, I have considered getting into metal and rock music.
I just got chill. I can only imagine that voice on that heavy. Oh man.
Yeah,
Hey, oh,
and like I said, I've dibbled and dabbled a bit, and some of the things I've created, I'm like, okay, this is cool. Like, and that's one of the cool things about making your own beats and like being a musician is because it's really a creative playground. You don't really have limits. You can do whatever because you're making the
yep.
beat. Nobody can tell you like, oh, this has to be this because you're making the beat.
Exactly. You can call it's almost like cooking. When you cooking for yourself, you can put whatever spices you want
Right,
in there. And if someone else doesn't like it, I'm cooking for me anyway. So what do you
right,
say?
exactly, right.
That's great. All right. Oh man. So where can they find you? Where can the listeners find you?
So I am on all platforms as either Elaina Yvonne or Elaina Yvonne Music. On Instagram, I'm Elaina Yvonne Music. TikTok, Facebook, everywhere else is just Elaina Yvonne. So that's ELAINA YVONNE.
All right. We're going to be back with more. I can feel my moderator looking at the screen saying, remember to promote your Twitch. So I'm going to promote my Twitch right now. You can catch me on Twitch at the online. That's DABLOCKONLINE. That's my Twitter as well. On Instagram, I am also the Block Online. And you can catch me on Facebook, David Block Tyrell. Air, I did it. Okay. Things you got to do to fulfill your obligation as a production. I'm telling you. By the way, download the Village Global Network app. Download the app. We are
Okay.
monitored by Online Radio Box, and brought to you by Zeno.fm/CULCHASHOCKRADIO. Zeno.fm/Culture Shock Radio. We're in the mix. Come get your fix. This is episode 218 of Candid Conversations. And I swear, of every 9-minute segment, I have to spend at least a minute and a half plugging something. Sometimes it's wires in because they disconnect with the things moving around. But it's all good. We're gonna be right back with Elaina Yvonne, and you know what happens in the third segment. She might not, but we've been watching long enough. When I have guests on, we have a special on the third segment, so we're gonna go to that just now. All right, we're here with Elaina Yvonne. Don't worry, it's nothing. It's nothing too shocking, but it is a bit of a culture shock. So, what we do here on the third segment of the show is usually I give the guest the opportunity to be the host and make whatever statements they have or ask any questions they may have come up with during the show. So, Elaina Yvonne, you have the floor and flip the script.
Okay. So, my question for you is how long have you been interviewing and what got you interested in interviewing?
I have been doing interviews for 11 years now. And um, I think I think my reason might be a little selfish. I wanted to tell a story about my life that was interesting. So I decided I'd start talking to interesting people and hearing their stories. And in doing so, we developed a magazine as well, which came shortly before the podcast. And I find that telling people's stories is kind of more interesting than my story. So,
Sometimes.
like, yeah, so my story becomes more interesting with every more interesting person I talk to. So
Hmm.
it's just one of those things that kind of happen at the time. One of my friends asked me to do a podcast for his website. I started there, and then I rolled over to mine 2 years after, and then yeah, I've been doing it since.
Okay. Okay. So you don't have to say names, but
Mhm.
describe your most interesting guest or maybe the most outrageous thing that's ever happened on the stream.
Okay. Oh, the most outrageous thing that's happened on this stream. Oh my gosh. Okay, it was a Truth and Reconciliation Day.
Okay.
All right, that's what Canada Day was that year because of the uproar with the schools, the schoolhouses, business people, and all of that stuff. Not
Okay.
to not to like placate it or downplay it or anything. I just don't have as much information as I should to talk about it comfortably. That's the basis of what I knew.
Okay.
So we decided that in order to establish more equality, we're going to have a podcast that had a person of every minority culture on there. So we had
Mhm.
me, and we had a couple indigenous people. We had a couple people from different areas in the world.
Mhm.
This one gentleman was on the show, and he was live. Upon Hill is our house, our major political house. So it's
Mhm.
where all the government meet, the federal government meets for whatever reason.
Okay.
This gentleman had, for some strange reason, he was bothered, and he usually carries something on him. Like he typically carried a knife on him in his day to day stuff, not for this purpose. For this purpose, but when we were talking, he was getting agitated by the security that was looking at him. He gets to the point where he announces that he has a knife. They take the time to escort him off of the property, but at one point the podcast went silent and the camera started to rustle. So we're thinking the worst right now because we know the variables involved in this situation, and this guy is
Right.
coming unhinged. So turns out he got walked off the property, and then he blamed us for having him on the podcast because and that thing going wrong, and then the subsequent decline in his business.
Okay.
I
So
was there like,
accountability was not in the building that day.
no, no, accountability was nowhere to be found.
Very interesting. I'm sorry
Oh
that you
yeah,
went through that. That does sound crazy for a podcast, honestly.
yeah, oh, oh yeah, it was, and there was like 5, 6 of us on at the time. No, leave the podcast on because never gonna happen. At least if you stay on, And this guy took a full 180 and just came at us, just like,
Yeah,
oh yeah,
I don't know. Some
mm-hmm,
people, it just takes one thing. Like they're just waiting on that one thing to just explode, you
yep,
know? So,
yep,
all
yeah.
right. Well, do I get one more question or
Oh yeah, oh yeah,
okay, let me think. I got to think of a good one. Hmm. So, I heard you say earlier that you made your own music.
yes.
What is your most successful song to date?
Ooh, that depends on if you mean the best response to the highest streams.
Maybe both.
Okay.
Is it two different songs?
Yes.
Okay.
The one with the highest streams, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, it's I did a bird called CB.
Okay.
It's a pretty intense song. Um,
Okay.
and then there's the one that's best responded to is a song called "Come On," where I talk about the country and the different things we've done as a nation, the songs that have come out of the country, the air codes, and all of that stuff.
Mm.
And I performed. I opened for Lloyd Banks last year. I performed that song, and when I finished my first verse, no, when I finished my first verse, I said the chorus, and then one of the people that was there with me repeated it back. But then the second time I said it, the whole club responded. And then
Okay.
by the third verse, everybody was just, I was like, come on. No, they're like, come on. I'm like, from the verse to the block. And they're like, come on. I'm showing who can rock the
Yeah.
spot. And I was there and I was just like, I made this song like 20 years ago. So
Yeah.
to have that response to that song, I was just like, yeah, okay, I'll take it.
And it's crazy that you said that because, I really just started getting serious about music in 2024, right? Which was last year. And I met a lot of different artists. And that's one thing that they've said is like, you'd be surprised the songs that you made years ago that you may not have even, you might have looked at it like it was a throwaway. you'd be surprised. Like you revamp those songs, put a new beat, re-record it with better technology. Like it will go
Yeah,
crazy, and it's insane because like in the back of your mind you're like, oh, this is trash. This is just some old. But then like you do it for the people now, and they're like, they've never heard it before. They don't have
that
those same feelings behind it that you do. So
that's the
there's just
thing.
cool that you said that.
That is the it like you recorded it, and when you record it, you have sometimes you have to do it like 15, 25 times to get it the way you want it to, and by
Right,
the time you're done recording it, you've already heard it 70, 80 times. Then it's got to be mixed, so you hear it another 200 times. It's
right.
like, okay, I'm done with this one, next one. But
Mhm.
then some like some of those times, that's when like sitting listening sessions, sorry,
Mm.
sometimes I'll invite people over and have listening sessions where I'll go over that older music and just look at their response to it and say, okay, well, you know what, this person said this to that, and that person said this to this, and maybe I could rearrange something and make something out of it.
Right.
And
Most
we
definitely.
are
You
here. Yeah. Culture. Speaking of culture shock, check out magazine.sharetheshock.ca /magazine. That is where you can find Culture Shock Magazine, the zine for unseen and seen. Culture Shock, we are the product. When you get a hold of that concept, you will realize that you are money. So watch the way you grind. We will be right for our final segment, Candid Conversations with Elaina Yvonne. All right, we are here. And this is a great conversation. I'm not gonna lie. Your character matches your skill set. I'll tell you that.
you said my what?
Your character.
Oh, thank you.
Yes, no problem. I've worked like I think because I predominantly work in hip hop, and the idea is you can't be respectful and good or talented.
Mhm.
Uh, I'm refreshed when I come to speak to people who have the character that matches their skill set. It's like when you're good at something, there's some people who are like, I'm good at this, so I don't have to be nice to people. They'll respect me because I'm good at this. And it's like, um, no, that's not how it works, because people still have to like you, even if you're good at it.
Right.
so so
And,
yeah.
I grew up in the South, and what I learned is if you're not nice to people, sometimes even if you are good at something, it can be taken away. So,
Mm, Preach church tabernacle. I tell you that. I'm telling you, it's amazing what we can accomplish when we focus. And
mhm,
this is just another example of it. Like the display of music and yourself as a person. I thank you for taking time to appear here, because you know what I mean. You could be doing anything with your time, so it humbles me to know that you take 45 minutes out of your day to me about like what you have going on in your life. That being said, what's next for Elaina Yvonne?
yeah, so I am working on a studio album. A Cozy Tape was an EP, so it's like I like to say like an intro to that album because they're going to tie together. There's a storyline there.
Okay.
The next tape is going to be called Nebuchadnezzar, and I don't know if you guys are familiar. Hopefully, your audience is familiar with the Matrix movie, and so there's going to be some elements from that because in that movie, Nebuchadnezzar was the name of the ship, and the way that I tie that into music is that I feel like music is my escape from the Matrix, much like Nebuchadnezzar in that movie was their escape, literal escape from the Matrix. So
Okay.
that's how all of this is going to tie together. So that's what I have been spending most of my time working on is conceptualizing that, working on visuals for that, and things like that. So
Okay. All right. That's awesome. That's awesome. Any performances or anything going on?
yeah, so I have a performance in Fayetteville, North Carolina. It's on March the 1st.
Okay.
And it's if you follow me on Instagram and Facebook, I'll be posting about it. I'll send you a direct link if you message me. So yeah, I'm excited about that.
All right. And that is Elaina Yvonne Music on Instagram and Twitter.
Yes. On
Okay.
Twitter,
Make
I
sure
think it's just Elaina Yvonne.
on Twitter it's just Elaina Yvonne. Okay.
Mhm.
I got to get better at getting some of these informations beforehand so I can just pop them up on the screen and stuff. You see, admin, I'm doing the things. I just there's so many things to do. We can only do so much at a given time.
Mhm.
Um, I'm gonna hear about that later. All right, so we're here, and before we go, definitely got to get you to shout out anybody who you want to shout out. Let them know that you appreciate their support.
Okay. Well, I want to shout out you first for having me on the show. Thank you for the
No problem.
opportunity, and also MJ for connecting us. I'd also like to shout out my one of the people that's on my tape, Spazzo D. Rollins, um, co-collaborator of mine. He's a rapper, but we work on a lot of music together. Also, my engineer, two engineers, Breeze out in Charlotte, and Hefe out in California.
All right, cool, cool. And you got to shout yourself out for doing all that you do to make this possible. Like, I mean, it's awesome to hear because like I have a daughter, right? And like I see my fiance work herself to the core too. But like it's awesome to see people like women setting such a precedent that you can accomplish. One thing that that I was asked the other day, and I still don't have an answer for it, is like when all the men went to war, the women did what they did, but why are they still not getting the respect they deserve for doing it?
Questions that need
Right?
answers.
No, I gotta know. I want to know because you're clearly capable of doing. Like y'all played bait, y'all played sports and stuff. Y'all built bombs and things. Y'all had society running still. Like so,
Mhm.
why? Just why? I don't know, man.
Yeah,
It's just one of those things.
definitely agree with you there. Yeah.
Okay, in all those accomplishments, what would you say in the last decade that is a significant accomplishment? I won't say the greatest accomplishment for women, but what would you say is at least one of the most significant accomplishments for women in the last decade?
For women in the last decade,
Yes.
I will say I'm going to make it a little bit more specific just because it's my demographic. Black women
Okay.
have become the most highly educated demographic among
Okay.
any demographic as far as degrees go, which I
Okay.
think is pretty cool, just considering that a lot of Black women are single moms. A lot of Black women are heads of their household. So just the fact that that's the demographic that is the most educated is just like, wow. It just goes to show, like you said, like how resilient we are, how,
Mhm.
no matter what, we're going to make things happen for our family. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. That is awesome, and it's just oh man, there's just so much we're capable of, and I just want to keep seeing the good. So let's just make things happen. You have an invitation back to the I would like you to be one of Women's Month,
Okay.
and go so much further and say if you can have an article prepared for the magazine, I will include it in there as well.
Beautiful.
Yes, we gotta promote the good that's happening in the world, and I have the capacity to do so. So I will utilize all the vehicles I have to show the good that we can do. So, oh man, it is great talking to you, having you here. Your energy is so blessed. May
Thank
all the
you.
good you do continue to find you and uplift you and keep you.
Thank you. I appreciate you.
No problem. All right, ladies and gentlemen, episode 218 of Candid Conversations is coming to a close. It's brought to you in part by Expose the North. We go there and beyond. Culture Shock. We are the product. Culture Shock Radio. We're in the mix. Come get your fix. Culture Shock Magazine, the zine for those unseen.